everybody. Welcome back. This is our 5th episode of the podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Kaitlyn.
And I'm Luke Roy.
And today we will be interviewing Jerred, the quarterback of our team.
Yeah. Welcome to the show, Jerred. Also, I want to apologize for our little delay on this show. We had some slight technical issues last time. We're sorry to have you back here again, but thank you for, spending your lunch with us.
Yeah, no problem.
How have you been?
I've been good. Yeah, I've been good.
That's great. That's great.
Been good. Past week. Triad's almost done.
Yeah.
Do you feel like school's starting to ramp up at this point?
I'm starting to get into the routine of it.
Routine.
Yeah.
And obviously that's affected by practice.
Oh, yeah.
Is that
Do you have time for your work?
Yeah.
We do. We have this great team sports period that's been established this year, and that gets us home early enough time to do work. So it's easier. It's easier to get work done now.
That's good.
Yeah, I remember sometimes when freshman year when I was playing as well. You get home at 8 some nights.
8:30.
I couldn't imagine doing that as a junior.
Yeah.
That. I commend them, man. That's something I don't have the strength for that. But you were out 2 weeks ago now versus Autonoma. We've had the bye week. How are you feeling? What exactly happened? Why were you injured? And how have you done to help heal up for the game?
I sprained my ankle. It was a grade 2 sprain in the first quarter of the Kaiser game, and just right after the play happened, we finished our drive, scored a touchdown. That was the one where I ran it in.
Cool.
And immediately just got it wrapped up and kept playing.
Man, playing through. How is it playing through a grade 2 sprain?
It hurt, and the Kaiser guys, they definitely knew I was hobbling. They saw me hobbling off each play, hobbling back on. But it was tough, but we got the win. So.
Didn't seem to phase you much. You had I thought that was maybe your best game of the year versus Kaiser. Did you maybe you threw a pick early? Am I remembering that?
Yeah, I threw a pick I think in the third quarter.
Third quarter, sorry.
Yeah. But how's your injury now though?
Yeah.
Have you been healing?
It's good, yeah.
Are you ready for this week?
Yep. Got all the rehab done. It feels good.
Yeah. So speaking of this week, how do you feel against Charter Oak?
Yeah, Charter Oak. I mean, they're a tough team. They got a lot of guys. Quarterback committed to Boston College, linebacker committed to Penn State. They got a lot of dudes, but we're ready. We prepared for them. We took this week, took a lot of consideration into them this week, and I think we're ready. I think we're gonna really compete with them.
And have you been putting in those extra hours at film too? Maybe not film practice necessarily, but just during your free time analyzing. And do you see weaknesses that you think you'll be able to exploit?
I mean, yeah. We noticed I'm not trying to hate on them, but
Also, don't say anything that might leak for the coaches. Don't feel like you have to do that.
Yeah, when you're playing a team with the talent that Charter Oak has, you have to on your free time prepare for them. And I've tried. I got a lot of work, but I tried to squeeze in some time to study them on my own. So yeah.
Oh yeah, that's great. That's a good mindset, and you're ready. So good luck.
How do you approach it? I guess. How do you approach looking at a defense?
Yeah, I try to approach it as any other week. I'm used to played 4 games now this season. We're kind of in the zone right now. We're in the flow state, as my coach says. So we just gotta treat it like any other week, but just a little more intense. Just more intensity, but still humble and relaxed.
Yeah. So this game's also the start of league, right?
Yep.
So how's that affecting anything or?
Different vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, these are the real games. The rest were preparation, but this is where it starts. Every game is a Super Bowl. We gotta be ready to compete because we're in a tougher league this year.
Oh yeah.
So we just gotta do our best, work hard.
Yeah, I mean you have, Charter Oak this week, Bonita next week. Those two teams, they're top 100 in the state, and we're not, California. This area is one of the best football areas in the whole nation. And when you're talking about guys that are committed to these D1 schools, that have these fancy equipment, locker rooms, that type of stuff, is it intimidating at all, especially coming from somewhere where necessarily football is not the main thing here, or do you just approach it like any other week?
We just approach it like any other week. we stay humble. Like, we're the underdogs, and every single game we were the underdogs, and we just keep that underdog mentality. Like, we don't care about your fancy equipment. We don't care about your offers. We're gonna play Claremont football, and we're gonna bring it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't say it better myself. So, you've been QB for a bit. Ever since I've known you, you've played quarterback, if that's Sycamore football, JV, varsity. You did play a little bit D-line, but
A little bit.
we might ask something about that. But what made you want to be a quarterback? And, in a range where there's so many different options in football.
Yeah, I just like the responsibility of it. Being the leader of the offense. It just felt right. I mean, I think I have that like mentality of like kind of like taking control. I
Yeah.
just always been drawn to like that. So I think quarterback, in my opinion, is the best position in football to play. Well, you get a lot of the credit, you get a lot of the hate too, but a lot of the
Yeah.
credit. So yeah.
Yeah. How have you developed from being quarterback or like football in general?
Yeah, we were lucky with Coach Karen. He's great. He played quarterback. I'm pretty sure in Europe. He played here too. He's just like knows the position so well, and
Yeah.
he's helped me and Bix so much developing our skills and whatnot. So he's a huge credit to where I am right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, Coach Karen, he's very much that sort of passing, more than Claremont's been since, Heil came in. Heil's scheme was more run. How has it been adjusting? Because, you've now been under 3 different head coaches. Technically, you had the JV coach, then you had Heil, now you have Karen. How hard is it to adjust to each different playbook and style?
I mean, yeah, like you said, it's tough learning a new system every year, because as well as having a new coach, we also had a new offensive coordinator my sophomore year in Chavez, but from Chavez's system to Karen's, it's night and day. Karen, he runs a spread offense, and it just works a lot better. There's always going to be a guy open, and that's what I love about this offense, and it makes sense where guys are supposed to be. Yeah.
And I mean, we saw an immediate impact too, coming from league last year. Claremont put up good fights in all of those games, even if a couple of them didn't come out how you necessarily want. You go to Diamond Ranch, and a question that we were asking is, would you guys pass a lot? And that was very much answered with a yes statement.
Yeah.
But the game plan has changed. We have seen more of that run reincorporated. So.
Yep.
How do you feel? Do you feel like the coaches are understanding what's going right and what's going wrong, and they're adapting as the season's gone on? How well do you think they've done that?
Yeah, it's mainly we just learned the passing offense first. We were more focused on the passing game over the off season, but now that we've kind of got adjusted to it, now we're understanding and we're getting used to more of the passing concepts. It's now time to pound the rock.
Yeah.
Like with Alvarado and Garcia.
Yeah. It's come out big for those guys.
Yep.
Alvarado has had a couple really good games. I think what was it? Was it Kaiser? I think he scored.
Yeah,
Scored a lot.
60-yard touchdown, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Also, want to apologize to Ivan Garcia. I said on
Yep.
the broadcast, messed up a touchdown call. So
Yep.
apologies to you.
On the podcast?
No. On the broadcast. Yeah. So major apologies. I'm sorry, Ivan. I love you.
Okay, well, new topic. What are some of your favorite memories from playing football in the past 5 years, or as quarterback?
In the past couple years, it's definitely the West Covina game our freshman year.
Yeah.
That was a great game.
That was a fun one.
And yeah, definitely Diamond Ranch this year. That was my first win as a starter on varsity, and that was just a big thing.
Yeah.
How did
Like-
that win feel? Like,
It felt with all the adversity we went through last year,
Yeah.
that just felt good to like start out
Yeah.
with that. Like it just felt like a weight just was lifted off all of our shoulders.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
we proved them wrong, and we're gonna keep doing it.
I know.
Yeah.
And how was like the reception from the team, I guess, after that win? Because, you started a couple games last year, but obviously it's night and day. So getting that win, being kind of you have to be a leader at the QB position. So being a leader, how did like the team feel with you and how you're commanding the offense after that first one as the season's gone on?
Yeah. Yeah. I got a lot of good reception from it. Like, we're all believing in each other. Everyone did their job that game, and we made some mistakes, but we've improved.
Yeah.
But everyone was doing their job, and now we were respecting each other for doing your job and doing your job right.
Yeah.
So it's just that mutual respect between each and every one of us.
So, but obviously, like Kaitlyn was saying, you have developed a lot as a QB, especially from last year. Where's one area that you still think you could develop in? Like, if you're talking about your own game, where's a weakness that you see in yourself?
I would just say my pocket presence. I tend on some of my runs. Sometimes it's a clean pocket and I have a guy wide open, and that was the case in the Kaiser game. But I feel just like my pocket presence, just being more aware of where D linemen are, and where I'm to look with my eyes. Just more awareness, probably. That's the main flaw.
Yeah, but speaking of that, what's one of your strengths as playing football?
QB, yeah.
Yeah. I would say not to brag or anything, but I would say my accuracy. I think I'm one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the Sierra League. I have around, I think, 72% completion percentage, one of the highest. And yeah, in the Troy game, which was one of our toughest, I believe the Troy game was.
I was gonna bring it up that the Troy game was like you had like 3 missed passes or something.
Yeah, 5. I went 23 for 28. In my opinion, that was my best game, the Troy game.
I did think Troy was a really good game.
What was the score again for Troy?
A little rough.
A little rough.
49-14. Xander Plug, that man.
Yeah, he's good.
Good receiver. So Jerred, I do gotta ask. Our very nice teacher supervisor Frank Ramirez drew this little play in the back. What?
Oh wow.
What are you looking at here? Is this something you guys might run?
We'll see. So I'm pretty sure that's a tight end. No. Yeah, that would be a tight end, or what we call a wing. And then, all right, so it would be spread queens left, gun weak, because the running back's on that side. And it looks like, is the tight end running 2 routes right there? He's in motion. Okay, gotcha. All right, so it would be spread queens left, gun weak. Be a T-jet into a shallow. Tight end, or the wing, would be running what we call a 1 route or corner. And then the running back is running a push route. And yeah, so I would see if the corner goes down to the push route, we got the 1. If the corner jumps up to the 1, push route is wide open. And it looks like that shallow route is just get the outside linebacker away from there. So I'll go just a simple 1-2 read, corner to push, and yeah, most likely it will be the push.
Yeah. Now, as you were going through that play call, I remember, when I was playing, I remember the QB, either it was you or Keegan, I played with too. You'd come in and you'd give the call. I'm just like, man, how on earth do they remember that? It's 85 things. And I saw this clip with I don't think it was Jaden Daniels, but it was one NFL dude, and it was like this, I'm talking paragraph. How do you guys remember all of that? It just seems so crazy.
Yeah, the playbook, we have a playbook on our wrist that definitely helps, but once it's almost like painting a picture. It's not just random nonsense. It all has structure. So once you read it over, you kind of paint yourself a picture and you associate that picture with the play call. So like this, I don't see 2 receiver side, this side. No, I see spread queens left, gun weak. I've associated that to my memory now. So it's just like that, and it takes time. It takes time to do that. I've struggled with that my whole learning the play calls with 3 offensive coordinators and stuff. But
stuff gets confusing.
Yeah.
And all of those coordinators obviously have played a role in your development. Would you say that's true?
Yeah.
I guess in which ways have they helped mold you to be the QB you are now?
Yeah, my first offensive coordinator, Coach Salcedo, or Coach Juan, he's definitely helped me this year. He's back on the coaching staff this year now for JV, and he helps out at varsity games. He's just been a good. This season, he's been a good almost like a friend. Like he helps me out with this, like with this and that. Just kind of like almost the mental aspects of the game. Like, hey, relax out there. Like, you're doing good. That was a good play right there. So he's been a good motivator this season for me. And Coach Chavez, he's a great guy. Like, and the system might have worked for his other teams, but it just wasn't Claremont. Like, it just didn't work for us. But, he's a great guy, and he helped me deal with adversity at it because I lost the starting position last year, was out with a couple concussions, and so he helped me deal with the adversity. And then now with Coach Karen, he's really helped me with kind of like being, okay, I am that guy, I am that good, and I can help lead this team. So, yeah, that's basically been all three of them, how they've helped me.
Yeah, that's really interesting, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
is that all the time?
Is there anything else you would like to add
So-
on, say to, however countless people are
Like-
watching?
Yeah.
Any
Yeah.
advice or anything
Yeah.
you want to say?
Yeah, show up this weekend.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be a good
Yeah.
game, competitive game. Let's go. Let's
Mhm.
get the
Yeah.
win.
Yep.
Def-
7 p.m. And the theme is gear night. So
yeah.
wear your jerseys.
We're
Come
just-
support.
yeah. It's going to be a good game. Claremont faces maybe their hardest opponent of the year.
Really? Charter
I
Oak?
mean, it's would you Charter Oak or Bonita? I know you don't like to think of teams as better or worse, but
Yeah, they're both tough. I would say Bonita has more structure, but Charter Oak, they got some dudes, and
yeah,
we're going to have to play our hearts
Yeah.
out.
don't let their best guys beat us. Was
No,
that?
yep, yeah.
Mhm.
It's Coach Karen's quote. Don't let their best guys beat you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay. Well.
that's all we have for you all today. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
tuning in.
Yeah. We'll see you in like 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Next episode.
So we hope you have a great rest of your week. And again, make sure to tune in right here on the Claremont High School Network.
Mm-hmm.
Claremont versus Charter Oak.
7 p.m. Friday.
Yeah.